Hi, I'm Kerry and this is Mike.
Hello, I'm Mike.
And this is part 2 of the shrimp mask for Jim Sterling on the Jimquisition.
That's cool. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it goes next.
Yeah?
We've definitely never recorded this
before.
before.
We haven't already recorded this and had problems with the audio. No. That didn't happen.
Spoilers. It's alright. It's okay. So this is interesting. So in the previous one you made it. You did your leather stretchy.
Yeah, all the parts and pieces are made. Now it's about putting it together and painting it.
Painting it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you apply colour, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. It's like texture mapping, but
in real life.
Yeah. People want to like go to parties with you and stuff. Yeah, I understand. So let's have a look then. Okay.
So these are all the parts, or at least the extra parts that go on the main mask. And here we've got some leather dye, Phoebings again.
So you told me previously that is called ox blood red, right?
Ox blood red, yeah.
It's quite disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And the stuff you're putting it into, that's not water.
No.
It's like a thinner that just kind of makes... It's like a clear ink, right? Like basically.
No. That's called dye reducer.
Is it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So there you're painting that on.
So it's a thinner. I mean, you can also soak the leather in this dye and give it a much stronger colour, but I wanted something quite subtle, and I wanted to be able to layer it up in case I didn't think it was dark enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here I'm just doing my colour tests. Yeah.
Although this is real, right? This one's actually going to go on the thing, or is this like a spare you had?
No. This is the first one I tried. Yeah, just bold, going right in there, getting them done.
What trips me up here is it's because it's getting wet, right? That it's got that kind of orange colour.
It goes, as it dries out, it gets a lot pinker.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Look at you asking the same question as before.
You see, I'm a professional, Kerry. I'm aware of the key talking points from our previous discussion. Mm-hmm. This is not my first rodeo. It's not my first video I've commentated. It's my first video I've commentated about shrimp, or indeed about Jim Sterling. But this is cool.
A lot of firsts.
It's a lot of firsts. So you're just trying to... Sorry, go on.
Well, here I'm spraying around the edges first to get an even coating. You want those edges to look nice, and then I'm going back over and doing the main body of it. Mm-hmm.
I like that the pressure of the spray is knocking it over, but now you've got a more secure grip. Yeah. Because you've learned from your mistakes.
It's all about learning, yeah.
Yeah.
Learning from your mistakes.
That's cool.
Important part of any process.
I've noticed that you tend to edit the mistakes out, which I like on this.
No, that's not true. There are certainly a lot of mistakes in here. For example...
There's a lot, but there's not all of them, is there?
So the eye holes here aren't they're smaller than they need to be at this point. But I did go a little too far out with those cuts around the eye holes. So that's something I'm going to have to go in and fix later on. So there you go. There's a mistake left in.
That's great. You're quite fast, aren't you?
Speedy.
Mm-hmm. I love the weight of the turntable, which is definitely still a DJ hero.
It's not. It's the
peripheral.
It's the weight of the mask and the epoxy on the head.
Cool. It looks like he's trying to get away.
Drags it around. Yeah.
It's like cutting the hair of a child. Well, I can't.
And the reason I have to keep going away and letting go of it is that little the paint pot on the top of the airbrush there is so small. I have to just keep refilling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've done a base layer on this one side of the face here, and now I'm going in and shading the areas, the in shadow areas and the darker areas.
It's just giving it more of that 3D depth. Yeah. And you're not doing the tentacles because you're planning.
No, because I decided I was going to cut those off and replace them at this point. I'd already made all the replacement parts. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
But I can see where you're starting to create those darker shadow areas. I mean, they're still there. The bumps and crevices are still there, but you're just kind of accentuating them.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I felt confident enough at this point to start on the second half of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess this is the moment of truth because it's kind of hard to fix a mistake at this point, right? Like in terms of the paint job. I guess you paint
actually over. It's fine. You just paint over it. Yeah. This is just the base colouring. I'm going to go over it with acrylic paint later on. So this is an acrylic based dye that dyes the leather, and then you can paint over it with acrylic paint.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Now the stuff at the top there you're going to cover up, so you're just kind of doing it there just to kind of get that.
I'm just putting a shadow in because I'm not. I mean, obviously I'm going to be covering up the holes where the screws were, but I don't know exactly which bits are going to be seen until I put the parts on it. So you want to have a bit of colour, a bit of shadow there.
And then you got the new tentacles there. They're cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just checking that the little bits all fit into place. So on that side, I've already chopped all the old tentacles off.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to show
God.
you. I'm gonna. You remember this bit?
This is the bit where the scalpel goes like, oh God.
It's fine. It's fine. Because in a second, I'm going to realise that I'm doing it wrong and start cutting away from myself.
It's the bit where you chop off your finger, I remember.
Yeah. It sticks clearly in your mind.
Look at that. Look at that. How close that scalpel blade is to your fingertip.
I mean, it's not as close as you think it is. My fingers are kind of curled underneath there. But
wait a minute. Kerry of the past is going to realise how dangerous this is.
She is. She is. Wait for it. There it is.
There it is. There it is. But it's just oh, Kerry.
Yeah.
It's a wonder to me that you still have all your limbs. It really is.
I'm very skilled.
It's just scary.
Good at what I do.
Look at this. I don't like this at all. I don't like this. It's dangerous. You don't get these kind of problems sat at a computer. Everything's safer. Like your worst case scenario is you
like
spill...
the monitor falls on you.
Exactly, the monitor falls on you. Or you spill Coca-Cola into that's some product placement there. They're going to give me £5 for that.
Yeah.
Some Coca-Cola into your keyboard or something.
You actually did it with Fanta a little while back.
With Fanta, I did, didn't I? But it was nice because every time I was working late and my computer overheated slightly, there was like an orangey smell. It's nice.
Cool. So I'm going in and waxing those edges.
You're buffing,
again.
right?
Buffing, yeah. Beeswax buffing. Oh wait, have we covered that in this video yet? I don't think we have.
Well, beeswax buffing. No, you did some. You've done it on. You did it on the volume one. So
yes.
So if you've not seen the volume one, you should definitely watch the volume one. That's,
I'll put a link somewhere
in the end. Like and subscribe, all that stuff.
All that kind of.
Tell us in the comments. Tell us in the comments. Did we mention beeswax before? Comment on that. Like and subscribe.
I think we mentioned it last time, and I've forgotten. I've forgotten what we have mentioned and what we haven't. Anyway, yeah. So. Bit of beeswax on the edges, and I'm you can use a buffing wheel. I think that's the name for it. I can't remember, but I'm using a Dremel because it's just a little bit quicker.
That's your contact adhesive, isn't it?
Yep.
Contact adhesive. I'm realising just how much of your work relies upon contact adhesive through the course of recording this.
I use it on everything.
Is it the smelly one? It's the one that smells like rotting fish, right?
No, that's specifically Copydex, which is a contact adhesive, but it's that one's latex based.
Yeah, that's always fun.
So it smells fishy because it's latex.
It's always fun. Yeah. Sat at my desk and it's like, oh, Kerry's working. Or like there's something dead in the kitchen.
Something's gone horribly wrong. Yeah. No, this one does have an odor. I mean, quite a few of the glues I use smell pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we keep them in the shed.
Sure.
What?
What?
What? Do we not keep them in the shed?
Alright, hang on. Let's get back on
yeah.
topic. So yeah, these are all the extra parts. Right, the foam. I realised that as I was sticking it on, the little fronds were sort of separating from the weight of the leather. So I went in and I glued some sections of foam to the back, just really high up on it, just to hold them together a little bit better.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you made your own kind of foam sellotape.
Yeah.
Oh, makes sense.
But tougher.
I like that you've given Jim like a fake jaw, a massive fake jaw here to
help support it. This is the thing, and like the weight of the mask just kept falling off. There you go.
Like that.
So the point of the foam jaw is to just sort of hold it all in there.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, this is you adding the kind of the shell texture to them.
Yeah.
So it's like white on white. Is that acrylic?
Yeah, it's just really, really watered down white acrylic. I think actually I might have put a hint of red into it. So it's not completely white, it's a slightly pinky white, but yeah.
It's amazing just how that just gives it that kind of dappled shell look almost instantly.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Very nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Is it fun? Or is it after like the third one, are you just like, oh,
no, I really enjoyed doing this.
Okay. And you're doing the edge there.
So the orange just goes around the edge and then on the high points of the ridges. Because, I mean, not on all shrimps and prawns, but on some of them, all like the high points tend to be darker on the ridged areas and around the mouth parts. And
it just helps the contrast again, right? You're trying to make something here that you don't try to make something that looks realistically like, that Jim's actually turned to shrimp. You're trying to make something that looks good on camera. Yeah. That works in kind of, well, for a lot of his stuff like low light or weird horror light that you're like, you're active. But it is, isn't it? It's like I remember as a kid seeing like
it needs to stand out. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing as a kid like photos of like Star Trek aliens like in daylight, and it just looks ridiculously overdone. Yeah. Because it's so doing stuff under
props in real life never. I mean, that's not true. Some of them look amazing in real life, but they never quite look as good as they do.
Often I think the toys look better. Like when you see those kind of prop replicas are often actually far better than what's actually in the movie, because in the movie it's like, it's shot in a certain way.
We talked over that whole bit again.
So you're filling in the gaps here.
Yeah, and with the previous parts, the spiny sections on the head, I was going in and putting little dots with a Posca Pen and putting in some detail, and then painting the back orange because you were going to be able to see that where the ridges stick up.
You've done a terrible paint job there. I can totally see those orange dots above the eye. I hope
they're not orange, that's pink. So what I've done is I've gone in and I've filled in the areas where the cuts went a little too high. I filled them in and then painted over them again in a darker colour, and then I'm going to go back over it in a highlighter, like I'm doing right here. And then I'm just going to keep blending over it. I think I went over it several times because I wasn't quite happy with it, so I went over it with light and dark, and then eventually it blends into the rest of the mask.
I love the texture that white gives it. Just in terms of it just immediately looks like shell now. Yeah, it's really cool. And it also looks like that kind of skeletal structure is closer to the surface in those areas.
Yeah.
I like this bit because it's like, I don't know, put some on the
well, it needed some on the front.
Yeah, but this is where that high contrast thing comes in, and this is you're
it's
putting
a little
filler
bit
into
bit more filler. That side was a little bit worse than the rest of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see. I can see it underneath as well there. Yeah. I like that. I know I keep mentioning it, but the fact that when you let go, it kind of turns away. It just makes it look like it's actually a creature that's like, oh, I don't like this.
Get off me! What are you doing?
Oh, and those are where you nailed it to the.
Those are panel pins. Yeah.
Panel pins. Sorry. Yeah. Where you had it kind of pinned onto the structure while it was drying.
Yeah. I really wanted those bits at the side to stick in properly, so there was no avoiding that. I knew I'd have to fill those in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're painting over those fillers there. Well.
Yeah, in a darker pink than the base colour of the mask. Because I'm going to paint over it again. I'm going to go in and fix all of that.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing the passage of time, because I always like this in these videos where you can see and now it's the evening.
Yeah.
Mike and Kerry are probably listening to some podcasts while both of them work too long into the night.
That's likely. Yeah.
Oh, it's morning again.
Yeah. You can tell because the light is from the sky. Like, oh no, it's a little bit later on.
This is looking cool.
I should get a good lighting setup at some point or something. I probably won't.
It's good. It's good.
So yeah, I mean that's the lighter colour going in just to cover up those areas of filler, and then I'm going back in with the orange, and I'm probably going to go over it with pink again at some point. I think I spent a lot of time layering up around the eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going in and adding the orange around some of the darker sections.
Well, the eyes are where the focus is always going to be. The eyes, I know with concept art, like that's the area that you work on the most is the face. Like so much concept art we do is like it'll be the whole vista will be just massive broad brush strokes, but as long as the hero's face is really really good,
you're fine.
It's going to work.
Fine. Yeah,
because it's how we're designed, right?
Yeah.
To look at that. Okay.
So now I'm airbrushing with white acrylic, just to give a softer feel to some of it, just on the nose ridge and
it's a bit of rim lighting there.
Sorry,
I'm just saying you're kind of pointing out the nose. That's cool. Oh.
Yeah, this is the harness that the entire thing attaches to because it's quite a weighty mask. I didn't want to just use little bits of elastic or string or whatever.
Yeah.
This is a GoPro harness.
I thought this. I remember thinking when you did this that this was a cool idea because they're relatively cheap, but they do the job very well. And they're designed to hold some weight.
I can't remember. I think it was like £5 or something.
Yeah.
It was like really pretty
That's really
cheap.
smart.
So I cut off that main locator on the front for the GoPro itself, and now I'm stitching it into the top of the mask using the holes on those ridges.
Gotcha.
Not on the ridges, under the ridges.
Yeah.
That join point. I've already got the holes there, so I can go around and stitch it in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. And now, bit of contact adhesive.
Yeah.
It's been 5 minutes.
Yeah, so the point of this harness is that it's adjustable, and I wanted to be able to go in and so it adjusts on the top and then the other side, so I can only glue down one side of it.
Gotcha.
So
because you want Jim to be able to make it fit his head perfectly and
yeah,
make
yeah,
it comfortable. Yeah,
exactly. But again, like you want it to at least hold a little bit on the sides there. So yeah, standard contact adhesive, paint it on, wait 20 minutes or 15 minutes, touch dry, stick it down. And now I'm going in with the Posca Pen again and adding in those dots. Yeah, just around the edges of the high points and like the darker areas, like around the eye, that kind of thing. Again, not all prawns and shrimp have little dots on them, but this one does.
But it adds a detail. Yeah, it definitely adds detail.
Yeah.
What are you doing there with
now
the scalpel?
I'm marking out where that first ridge on the head is going to go. So I'm roughing it up for the what?
For the contact adhesive.
Yeah.
It's always like
all it is.
That makes sense though. So you're just making as big
I'm giving it a rough surface for the
to.
Yeah, exactly. Like the underside of the leather is rough enough for it, but yeah, that top surface needs it.
Oh, that's cool. And it's a lovely solution because it's the join point, right? That you're basically disguising the one place where you can't.
I am. It was always going to have ridges along the forehead there, and I was pretty certain I was going to need to cut a seam line down it.
Yeah.
But I probably originally I wasn't going to make them quite this wide until I started putting it together and realizing I needed all this extra space. Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah.
And it really cleanly just disguises the practical kind of requirements of the thing. It's good. And then those you've ordered, but you said to me you changed the order, right?
They're numbered, but I switched a couple of them around. The idea is that they're slowly getting shorter and wider because the front one's quite narrow and long, and then they get shorter and wider as they get up, and then they narrow out again as they get towards the back. I just switched a couple of them around.
So with that, was that a design choice because that's how shrimp's heads are, or was it because you needed those stitchings to go wider? It
was because I decided I was going to use fewer of them, and then as I started gluing them on, I decided I wanted to use all of them.
Right. Okay.
I wanted them a little bit closer as they got to the top, so I added in a couple of the ones that I'd already taken out, and it works.
And I guess you always knew as well that Jim was going to be wearing a hood or like something around the back of his head, so you kind of knew there was going to be some overlap.
No, I suspected. I didn't actually know.
Oh, right, okay.
So I don't think, you'll never see that. I made this pointier piece at the back just on the off chance that you would ever see it. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure what he was doing with it. I knew it was something to do with October and Halloween. Eyeballs. So,
or how Kerry ruins our household appliances for her work. Look at this. Is that hob also on while you're doing this?
Yeah, it's to keep the it warm.
And so there's a tea bag of ink, basically. Or dye,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, this is specifically a dye for plastics and synthetic materials. I think they also make one for natural fabrics, but this was my first method, which didn't work as well as I hoped it would. It's the dye is iDye poly. I know because I know some people use this for visors and things for cosplay.
Right.
So I gave it a go. I think I just left them in there a little too long. And they weren't in there that long. 3 to 5 minutes, I think. Yeah, 3 to 5 minutes, and then you wash them off in soapy water to get all the excess and the residue off. But I just, because they're such small pieces, I guess I didn't account for how long they were gonna take.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the one on the left there is the dyed one.
Yeah.
So it didn't
kind of matte, kind of mottly.
You could sort of see through it. It was just way too dark, and it wasn't a great process. So I came up with a different way of doing it for the one on the right there. Yeah. Using lens paint for cars. It's for tinting. Well, it's mostly for tinting lights. I think you can use it on windscreens as well, but it doesn't give you the most even coverage. So I'm just spraying the inside of it here to maintain that shiny surface on the outside of the eye.
That's what I like about it. It's very glossy.
Yeah, well, I'm using a smaller eye as well. I decided that looked a bit creepier.
Yeah,
which is sort of what I'm going for there.
It's got that kind of soulless, but it's the reflections. And I've noticed, actually, it seems Jim's trying to accentuate that in the videos. He's got like some lights behind the camera or something that are picking that out.
Yeah. Also, I got to use the bottom of that other mannequin Just
Yeah,
the
oh,
hole,
yeah.
the hole in the
saw,
polystyrene there. It was perfect for masking off that shape.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, someone's shouting outside.
I probably shouldn't have left the window open.
Probably not. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Ignore him.
So I'm using the contact adhesive again to glue the eyes in. The only thing is it slightly melts the plastic, so I had to be really careful around the edges not to
Make sure you
smear
don't
it
get
over
like
the rest of the... Yeah.
See,
Yeah, because it'll eat away at that surface.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit.
That's beautiful. Well, no, beautiful's the wrong way. It's horrible, but in a very good way.
Going in again, more adhesive. This is just to put some foam around the back of it and shore it up a bit. Also,
these are your foam strips you've made.
Yeah, also to pad it out because you don't want it digging into someone's face or Jim's face. And then padding around the nose and the forehead. I just want to make it as comfortable as possible.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I mean, obviously he's not wearing it for crazy extended periods, but at the same time, like you don't want a bit of it that's going to dig into his face.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what are you using there to?
I'm adding in some tights.
Oh, cool.
Because because I decided to use smaller eyes. I've got these larger sections at the corners. I mean, I was always going to have gaps there. Because you can see through the eyes, all right. They're not great, but I wanted to add another section that you could see through. And I know quite a few mask makers use tights or a really fine mesh in the corners of mask eyes, just so that you can see through. So I'm using tights that I've dyed with the leather dye. just while I was airbrushing the mask, I went in and did a section of tights.
Makes sense.
I'm gluing that down with contact adhesive and foam and all the usual stuff.
Nice.
There it is from the front.
Very cool.
And with the original colour and the dyed stuff.
That just means you're not seeing a bit of Jim's face through the gap.
Yeah. And because it's the same colour as the mask, it fits in. And, yeah.
That's nice. And then that's all the padding for him, so
that's
his eyes don't get too scratched up.
I think I added a little bit. There you go. I added a little bit more around the edges, around the eyes. Okay. I just wanted to
cushion him a little bit more.
Just a little bit more, and that's
it's important. He's comfortable
adjustable
while
strap
making videos. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. That's really cool. Done.
Yup. There it is. Finished.
It's lovely. I love those freckly, spotty bits. I think they really just make it. It's really nice.
I am pleased with how those came out. And
Very
I
nice.
like that you can those front bits, because they're not like completely stuck together. They're only stuck together at the top, but you can move them around and adjust them. And...
I've seen that as well. I've seen him kind of using them gesturally.
Oh no, I meant you can actually just move them apart and have them in a different configuration.
Right, gotcha. No, really cool.
Yeah.
Spinny.
Yeah.
Thank you, Freestyle Games, for DJ Hero.
You gotta stop thanking them for that.
Very cool. Well done. I like that.
So if you haven't seen part 1, here's a link to that.
Good.
And probably a link to Jim's stuff as well, I imagine.
If I'm
feeling...
Yeah, I mean, he's only got, what, like 250,000 subscribers now? Something like that.
Many. Yeah.
It's not many. He needs the help.
Let's help him out. Yeah.
You can subscribe to Kerry. She's too classy to ask you to do it, but I'm not. You can like it. You can comment. Apparently that's important.
That's a thing.
That's a thing.
Hello.
Oh, back to that's the clay sculpt.
Messed up clay sculpt.
The comment. So comment on what should we ask them to comment about? What's your favourite kind of shrimp? Do you like shrimp? Do you like shrimp? I don't eat shrimp. We're not. Well, we're vegetarians, so we don't eat shrimp at all. But like,
don't tell the internet that.
Tell us about shrimp. Tell us about your experiences of shrimp. What's your favourite childhood memory of shrimp? Please put it in the comments. Let us know.
Okay, the video finished ages ago. You should.
So stop now. This is how you do a YouTube, Kerry.
Yeah.
This is how you do a YouTube.
I'm learning.
Yes. Awesome. All right. Bye.